Good evening. I'm going to share my screen. Evening. I'm going to share my screen. Well, I thought that I was. Good evening. Good evening. Well, I thought that I was. Good evening. Good evening. So no, it's still not allowing me to share. So let me try this time. Oh no, it's still not allowing me to share. Try this time. Great. It's allowing me to share now. I'm going to pull these down and get started. It's allowing me to share. Pull these down and get started. And thank you all for your patience. Trust me, you will not regret this. And then it also helps me with how to navigate my screen because that tab is at the top. And thank you all for your patience. Trust me, you will not regret this. And then it also helps me with how to navigate my screen because that tab is at the top. Thank you all for your patience. All right, wonderful. Good evening. Well, we're going to jump right in to the workshop tonight. First, I want to thank everyone for your attendance. Also, with how to navigate my screen because that tab is at the top. Thank you all for your patience. And I'm getting feedback. Right, wonderful. Good evening. Well, we're going to jump right in to the workshop tonight. First, I want to thank everyone for your attendance. Also, with how to navigate my screen because that tab is at the top. Thank you all for your patience. And I'm getting feedback. Right, wonderful. Good evening. Well, we're going to jump right in to the workshop tonight. First, I want to thank everyone for your attendance. Also, with how to navigate my screen because that tab is at the top. Thank you all. And I'm getting feedback. Right, wonderful. Good evening. Well, we're going to jump. I'm getting all these kinks out. And I'm going to try this as well to see if I turn down my volume. If you're still able to hear me, right? So I'm going to turn down so that I can't hear myself, but hopefully you're also able to hear me as well. And once again, I want to thank you for your patience. If you are watching right now or viewing this replay, it is because you want to take your ministry beyond the four walls. You understand that streaming is not just on Wednesdays and Sundays, and it's just not something that we do because it is a fad, but this is true discipleship, right? And that's what we're going to jump right into this evening. The Hybrid Church Blueprint is a comprehensive guide, right? It is 4 simple steps. Not going to be before you long with showing a lot of slideshows and things of that nature, slide decks, because you are already running a church right now. Right. So you are already doing all the things. You already understand how ministry works. And you already have a system in place. What we're going to do is now understand the 4 steps for creating the hybrid church, right? Ensuring that number one, you have your digital ecosystem. So that is your CRM. right? Text messaging, your email marketing, and YouTube streaming, or some form of streaming, right? Your CRM, that's going to track your visitors, everyone who's viewing you online as well, track engagement, and then automate your follow-up. Now, although there is automation and we're using AI to do so, this is not just tracking and all systems. This is to provide us with milestones as well as data for human interaction, right? Nothing beats us when we're talking about these systems and things of this nature. Also, that's not going to replace by us using AI. That is just going to help us with not having to have more staff. It's also going to help with preventing burnout. It's going to help automate things so things are done with, on autopilot. That prevents burnout as well as it's going to help us have clear systems. It's going to help us be able to help disciple our visitors as well as our new members and bring them into the fold, which is our priority. We're already expanding beyond the building. This particular course is not only going to give you the structure, but also help you redefine your mission and understand what that is, right? Making sure that you have everything in place as well to support your hybrid blueprint, right? You're going to know who's in your community, what barriers we're facing, right? And also how to define your message. Even when you are in a live environment, now we are always remember that it's dual efficacy. So we're talking to those who are also watching online, and we're making sure that even when we make our appeals, even when you're preaching from the pulpit, whether it be the pastor and or any of your elders or ministers, that we speak to those that are in front of us as well as those that are viewing online. Okay. And then this is that follow-up section here, right? That visitor, member, disciple. When I tell you that this system here not only gives you the structure, but we also help your foundation and give you those tools as well. That's why this is so wonderful. It's not just built by myself, someone who's been in ministry and supported in an admin format for decades, but several professionals in various walks of life, and we all work in church. So you have systems and you have something that is built by individuals who are also using this as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump right into actually showing you all the demo and then going over the course, because that's where the secret sauce lies, is showing those 4 steps and then breaking those 4 steps down, right? So I'm going to go into exactly why the course is so phenomenal. Now we've gone over exactly what the system is, right? And how easy that is in those 4 steps. The first one that we went over, right, is our CRM. That's our visitor tracking system. Text messaging, you need that when you hear those appeals, text join or text deliver or text prayer, right, to a particular number. When you text that number, then it's going to trigger a series of events. Those events are going to help navigate us to our small groups. Is this person joining? Do they need prayer? Are they joining one of our small groups? And small groups are things like our groups for singles, married, even those like our youth. We have groups, or some churches have groups for grief or marriage counseling, individuals who may be struggling with addiction, right? So various small groups. That's what I mean by that. So if you hear me mention that throughout the workshop, that is what we're referencing. Your email follow-up, right? And then your streaming platform. Your ecosystem is going to house not only just your sermons, but it's also going to house your events. It's going to house your teaching as well, so that individuals can click on it and be fed at any given time. Okay. Whether you're physically in house or online, you're going to have that ecosystem where individuals have access to the word, have access to groups, have access to community, right? That's the difference between just streaming online, just watching online versus coming into the fold, actually being discipled, actually having a covering, actually coming together with like individuals, right? So no longer just a visitor, no longer just sitting on the sidelines, but now they have the opportunity to come into the fold, be a part of your church as a virtual member, but also have the opportunity to now be discipled too, and now make a disciple so that they can then go out and share the good news, which is what all of this is about, okay? So now that we have those 4 steps and you already know what to expect, right? I want to jump over to this. All right. Now, when I say CRM, some of you may have things like ChurchTrade. You may have RAM, right? You may have Substack right now. You have a system that houses your information in your database, maybe even for your members and for giving, things of that nature, right? If you do not, we have some suggestions even in this course, right? So when I tell you that we provide you with your 4 steps, we're going to provide you with those 4 steps and then also give you some suggestions on how you can actually activate and take care of those 4 steps within the course. Okay. And here are some examples of what those CRMs are. It's some basic information, also estimated costs. Now, although we do not recommend or solicit or actually patronize one particular company, right? I do receive an affiliate kind of like kickback for certain companies. We also teach this so that you can do this as well, right? But the way that we're able to keep costs down very low is because I've used a lot of these systems being an admin, working with various churches. So they're user friendly. There's some that I have familiarity with. And if you choose to use those, then there is a small generated revenue that we receive. Okay. And then as you choose one that you may like, hey, you generate your link, and then now the individuals that you teach or other businesses in your church, right? When you have those business workshops, now you're able to also use your link and keep that going, right? Generating that passive income. Next, we're going to go to your communication systems, right? And is a host of those there, as well as your finance and then website. Now, we also have a small little disclaimer as well. If you are starting online, right, this is a hybrid blueprint. You want to also ensure that you are in compliance. Now, I'm not a lawyer, of course, right? But you definitely want to make sure that your website is in compliance as well. We're going to go over some things that you will need concerning that. But by doing so, you also set yourself up for funding, okay? That is something that they look at, how well you are structured and established. I also wanted to make sure that I made note of the additional information that is here. When I say that we provide you with your 4 steps, you also receive additional information right here so that you can move forward. So when we talk about structure, if you need assistance or understanding what a 501c3 is, there's going to be links to take you there as well, right? While we're talking about our small groups and how we manage those small groups to prevent frustration, we have roles and responsibilities already generated for you that you can tweak that's going to work for your church. The reason that you want to have that there, the clearer you are with the understanding roles and responsibilities, the more your team knows what their expectations are, as well as how they can serve and serve in their best capacity, right? It's going to help you not only keep your visitors on board, but help them even grow and have more people that want to serve. There's fillable IRS forms. You also receive a graphic library and videos, right? So if you don't have a graphic artist at your church or establishment and you need photos and or flyers and you don't want to use just all AI generated flyers and you want to create some, you need your templates and things like that to generate for your church, all seasons, all types, you're going to have a free graphic library. There's videos there, a host of assets for you. There's also additional grant funding. All of these links here grow with you as well, right? So once you uh, purchase the workshop or purchase the blueprint, excuse me, after you watch the workshop today, you purchase the blueprint. As this grows, you are a lifetime member. You're going to receive the updated information as well. So your honorarium forms, small groups, right? If you have questions on what those are, we provide that information here and also give you examples of what those small groups are, even some ways to minister to your small groups and help you with development. Then additional resources, all access is here as well, a host of documents that you need concerning structure, everything from honorarium, as you see here, even all the way down to envelopes for your church, right? So there's a host of information that's right here that you are able to use immediately. So we don't just tell you what to do, but we give you the information. We also provide you with where to go so that you can actually execute in this blueprint so that you can get started with keeping up with the main thing, which is growing your church. All right. Now, those 4 steps, you have all of the access to your information right here, websites and digital. Now we're going to go to understanding the small groups and our core of discipleship, right? I definitely want to make sure that I provided some stats for my stat folks out here and let them know that this is not just, once again, a slide deck. I'm not just doing it because it's a buzzword about hybrid or something to do because it's a fad, but this true discipleship, right? Taking our ministry beyond the 4 walls, preventing any barriers that individuals may have in regards to attending church, even some social barriers, right? Or previous or prior church hurt. We never know what's preventing individuals from walking through those 4 doors. I mean, was walking through the walls of the church, but this tool, this blueprint, what you are actually creating at your church is not just a blueprint. It's not just hybrid because it sounds great. It's not just a way to introduce something new or a marketing technique or a way to get more likes or views on your church's website or Facebook page. This is a method and a way to reach those who may feel as though they are forgotten, who may feel as though no one is ministering to them, right? But no, they do have a church home. They do have a place. They do have a covering, and that is you, right? So the core of our discipleship, our small groups, that makes up about 80%, right, of individuals will remain and stay connected, right? So they are 80% more likely to stay connected and to stay as a member of your church if they are connected and engaged to a small group. And also, your small group doesn't have to be like the next church. That is the beauty of a pastor after your own heart, right? So you're going to create the dynamic and create tools in the groups that work best for those that you are shepherding. Here's more on the hybrid church tech stack. So that's just stacking various systems. That means you don't have anything new to buy, right? You may already be using various things right now. Most likely you are. Some of those systems may talk to each other, some of them may not. But with the tech stack, we show you how to of course, stack or integrate each one of those together to make this work. Also, we do partner with individuals wherein they have a CRM that can assist as well. You'll get all resources and information to make those decisions as well, right? Whether you want to use what you currently have and have those integrations work with each other, or a brand new system, whatever that may look like, we have options that can help. Here are the disclosures that we also have to ensure that you are aware of, that the Hybrid Church Blueprint, the Outpour Collective, and its representatives do not promote, endorse, guarantee, or receive compensation from companies unless otherwise disclosed. Churches are encouraged to conduct their own research, review pricing, evaluate security standards, and determine the best solution for their ministry needs. We are not responsible for the performance, outcome, pricing changes, or service quality of any third-party platform listed. Now, these tools are simply examples for your consideration based on the common tools that churches and organizations are using right now. Once again, you can do your own research. We're giving you a blueprint, okay? And then in addition to the blueprint, I'm giving you some actionable tools, because this isn't just something that you watch and then have to figure out. You're able to implement by utilizing the blueprint, because we're giving you the tools, we're giving you the information, right? And then I'm even going to show you the next step in your course, where it goes into a deeper dive than even what we're going over on today, okay? This is more information on the various small groups that we just talked about. How to connect with individuals. There's a daily connection strategy. Once again, we're meeting churches where they are. We are not assuming that you have this information already. If you're not engaging, we provide you with an engagement strategy. If you don't have emails, we provide you with an email follow-up, text follow-up, provide you with structure for your small groups. We've left nothing unturned for you because we've been there. We know it, and we are taking all of that, the different frustration, the pain that we've had before, and created this wonderful tool for you so that you can use your bandwidth to go out and create disciples, right? You were called to serve, not to struggle. So we want to make this easy for you. Even giving you your launch plan, understanding scaling and leadership and structure as well, and what that looks like, okay? Now, here are additional disclaimers and additional resources that you may want to think about for your website, because you are utilizing and asking for, of course, telephone numbers, right? You're getting email addresses. So you want to make sure that you have your privacy policy, terms and conditions, right? As well as your text message and SMS consent. Data security, right? When you're taking the addresses, emails, telephone numbers, people want to know how you're storing their information, who's collecting it, who has access, how you're keeping it, data collection and governance and things of that nature. Now, of course, once again, I'm not a lawyer or anything of that nature, but ensuring that you are aware that these are tools that you will need, and terms and conditions, elements that you will need on your website. Number one, to make sure that you're compliant. Number two, it gives you access to funding, right? Funders like to see that you are compliant on your website. Telephone numbers, structure, all of that matters, okay? Now, I also wanted to provide you with like a walkthrough as well. So after like those slides there that you see, we even go through some examples of what that looks like when someone actually texts to join or texts for prayer, right? So you click there and watch a YouTube, and it shows what that looks like. If you haven't seen a CRM and how to set that up, there's examples there on how to do so. There's even a case study from Bishop Joseph Warren Walker III. He has an appeal there through his church, which is Mount Zion of Nashville, and you're able to actually hear what that sounds like at the end when he's making that appeal to join the church. Now, he doesn't endorse this particular blueprint. I'm just giving some examples for you of what that looks like. If you're already running your church, if you're already watching me on tonight, you're here at the workshop, then you're in the right place. Most likely you understand exactly what a hybrid blueprint is. You know that you want to add that hybrid element to your church. You want to have that online mobility there, that online church, and we're giving you those answers. Just wanted to provide you with some visual aids there as well. Now, this system understands that, and it will help you to ensure that no visitor falls through the cracks, that you have connection on every step, and a discipleship is intentional. It is not accidental, okay? Once again, you were called to serve, not to struggle. I also, because we are working with churches, and before we go into the course and I take a deeper dive, I wanted to take a few moments and make sure that you are aware, or maybe bring to your attention some scriptures, right? So that you understand that this is founded in scripture. It is just not something that sounds great, something to do, something to generate revenue. This is true discipleship. The first one is Acts 2:46 through 47. Not only did they continue daily, but they went from house to house. Okay. So when you want to reach people beyond the limits, we go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature, right? That's Mark 16 and 15. Also, when we think about writing this blueprint out, writing the vision, and then making it plain. I gave you 4 steps. I broke those 4 steps down, gave you examples on those 4 steps, gave you examples of how to use what you currently have at your church, how to integrate that into these 4 steps to achieve your hybrid blueprint. Gave you examples of each one of those 4 steps of what that looks like in order to set that up in your church. So we're writing that vision. We're making it as plain as it can be, right? So these are some scriptures to let you know, hey, we are handling kingdom business, right? Let all things be done decently and in order. So not only are we providing you with structure, not only are we providing you with examples and giving you the tools and the means to execute and activate, but we're doing it in order. We're making sure that you have access to not just information, but then also examples to where you can start this today, right? So you're not just spending countless hours taking this course and then trying to navigate, find the tools, find which tool works best for you and your church, and then go back and implement step number 2. No, we're giving you how to do it as well as the tools for you to do it, giving you examples and showing you how to do it, or integrating what you already have so that you can accomplish the goal of the hybrid blueprint. So if I tell you, if that's not in order, if that's not decent and in order, I don't know what is. Okay. But I can go on and I'm so excited about what this is and how this is going to impact the body of Christ. I want to jump in right now and show you a little bit about the course and what that looks like. Okay. Because we've gone over what this is, how it helps. Now I want you to see not only your resources and the tools that you'll have at your fingertips, but I also want to show you how in depth the course is as well. So the course number 1 is set up into 3 modules, right? Not only is it in a written format, but when you go into each module, you're also able to listen if you want to, or read or view it in a more pictured format. But you have your foundation, your setup, right? Your privacy policies and those things, right? And things to consider, a deeper dive into that. But then actually understanding the CRM. Sometimes when I say the word CRM, there may be some individuals that's like, what is a CRM? They don't understand even what that is. It's a customer retention or customer relationship management tool, right? Some have a CHRM for a church relationship management tool, but even understanding what that is and what that looks like, right? Understanding how to craft your CRM and the framework. So we take a deeper dive in regards to that. Understanding your culture, right? And the pipeline of that in your leadership and developing that leadership. So when I stated that we give you the rules, the roles, excuse me, not rules, the roles and responsibilities of various groups and leaders, we help you with that, because the clearer you are of what you're delivering to others, the better the outcome is, the lower the frustration, the lower the turnover. When I stated that you can implement this without any additional staff, this is how, because you're going to now equip the existing staff that you have with the resources and the tools. You're also going to use technology to scale and automate so that that's working on the back end. Your automation is set, things are set, and then that allows you the bandwidth to have that human interaction, that connection with those individuals that reach out for prayer, that connection with those that are new disciples or new converts, or those that need to help with navigating how to get to new members class online, different things of that nature, right? Also working with our network of churches so that you know you're not in this alone when you need your online visitors, right? Your hybrid church to come in to the fold, to come into the building in their local city with one of our sister churches, so that they can come in and hear a word. It may not be from you, but it is one of the sister churches wherein they can still come in, hear a word, meet with like individuals and disciples, and be amongst others, right? That's the whole part of church. One of the things that we love is that we are with like believers. Community is so important, right? And we cannot negate that. We cannot negate the gathering of like-minded individuals. Okay. So although we are hybrid and we're providing a hybrid blueprint, there's a network of churches wherein we come together, and that particular visitor can come on in, right? And we greet them on your behalf. Or you may want to have baptisms, at certain times. So I'm so excited of not only having the hybrid opportunity for those to come in and experience community and now be a part of a church, but now our churches, right? Our churches are now even more connected. Our churches are now fellowshipping together on a greater level, right? So it's just not for us to grow bigger and greater churches, but also for the body of Christ, to come together as one and share the good news. So yeah, that gives you information there on culture. Y'all know I can go on and on with this chapter. This module has 7 chapters. It goes into further detail with even helping you identify and build your small groups, and then activating those as well. Here's more of your actual links, right? We talk about it, but each one of these things here, you're able to click on and then view it, use it, see if that works for you or your church. So you're going to have that hands-on experience, okay? Now we're going to go to building momentum and community, right? So you're going to understand bridging the gap. Why do we have the need and what this helps us with, right? While you're going and reaching into the community. So you understand the setup, the foundation. Now we're building more into understanding that hybrid church in the framework and understanding those key components. Expanding our leadership and understanding training as well, having access to the training, whether it is in-house that you are providing the training, or access to the training from the tools that you're going to have, right? So you have resources that you're able to facilitate there at your church for the various trainings so that you can have the success that you need or desire. Okay. But we talk about understanding training and leadership, and what that looks like, various development models. Okay. Then our module 3, that is our programs and expansion, right? So now you have the blueprint, you have the foundation, you understand community, and then now we are moving into connection and engagement. Integrating faith, fitness, fellowship. There's some various topics here that we discuss as now we're moving into that element of growing the church and now fellowshipping with other churches. I'm not going to go into, all into each one of the chapters because, hey, I want to make sure that you receive your tools, and it is exclusive. Not going to give all of that here on YouTube, but I wanted to make sure that you were not only aware of how powerful this particular blueprint is, but the tools that you receive from this blueprint. Now, should you have any questions, feel free to visit theshamikacharmaine.com or contact me at 800-746-0857. And we'll be able to not only schedule time for you to ask your questions, have your team on and do a demo, or you can view our webinar that we have weekly as well, that is also free. You can view all of that information here on my channel or by visiting theshamikacharmaine.com or thehybridblueprint.com, and we'll be able to further assist. Meanwhile, thank you so very much for your time, and remember, you were called to serve, not to struggle.